The sun rose slowly over the plains of Aurora 9, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold. The wind carried the scent of dry grass and alien wildflowers, a mix both beautiful and harsh. Out here, life was simple but unforgiving. Cole Marston stood at the edge of his ranch, watching the horizon. The ranch had been his pride and his home, but today, it felt empty in a way he had never imagined. He ran a hand over the brim of his wide-brimmed hat, his eyes scanning the land that stretched for miles. The plains were quiet, almost too quiet. And that silence was what gnawed at him the most. It had been 6 months since the accident, 6 months since Lena, his wife, had been taken from him. The mining expedition she had joined to test new energy crystals had gone wrong. Everyone had assumed she was dead, swallowed by some machinery malfunction deep inside the crystal caverns. Cole had buried hope alongside her memory, but grief, he had learned, was stubborn. It clung to him like the dust that coated the floors of his ranch house. Every morning, he rose before the sun, tended to the small herd of animals, repaired fences, and repaired himself. Yet, the loneliness pressed down like the heavy Aurora 9 wind. His only companions were the cattle and the faint memory of her laughter, echoing in the walls of their home. Cole walked toward the barn, his boots crunching against the dry ground. The animals greeted him with familiar sounds, low moos and clucks. As if understanding his sorrow, he fed them, scratched the backs of the older ones, and spoke softly to them. There was a certain peace in caring for creatures that depended on him. Humanity, he thought, was strongest when it nurtured life, even in the harshest places. After finishing chores, Cole took a moment to sit on the porch of the ranch house, sipping lukewarm coffee from a chipped mug. The sky had grown brighter, and the plains seemed endless, stretching into the unknown. He often thought about leaving this place, joining other settlers, or even exploring the stars like Lena had dreamed. But the ranch held him, tethered by memories and a stubborn need to survive. That morning, as Cole stared across the plains, he saw something strange. At first, he thought it was a trick of the light, a shimmer, a movement too precise to be random. Then he noticed them clearly. 2 small figures running across the open field, their movements fast and determined. His heart skipped a beat. Children didn't belong out here. Not alone. Cole grabbed his binoculars and focused on the figures. His breath caught. The children, 2 girls, were identical. Twins, with hair the color of Lena's, and eyes that mirrored his own. They moved with a strange confidence, unafraid of the wild terrain, and then he heard it, faint but unmistakable. Daddy. The word echoed across the plains, carried by the wind, but sharp and clear to Cole's ears. He dropped the binoculars, rubbing them against his chest as if to wake himself from a dream. Could it be possible? No child could know him. Not like this. Not out here in the emptiness of Aurora 9. Yet the sound persisted. Daddy! Cole's feet carried him instinctively across the plains. Each step was heavier than the last. But he pushed forward, driven by a mixture of disbelief and hope. As he approached the figures, he noticed the girls' movements were not entirely natural. Their steps seemed coordinated, precise, almost careful, as if they had been trained to survive on this land without any guidance. Finally, he was close enough to see their faces. The resemblance was astonishing. Not just Lena, but something more, a reflection of his own eyes, the same stubborn determination, the same spark of curiosity. The twins stopped a few meters away, staring at him with wide eyes. One of them spoke first. Daddy? Cole's voice caught in his throat. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. Instead, he held out his hands, feeling as if every breath he had taken in the past 6 months had led to this moment. Yes, he finally managed to say. I'm your daddy. The girls hesitated, as if testing the truth of his words. Then, slowly, they stepped forward, closing the distance. When they reached him, Cole knelt and wrapped them in his arms. Their bodies were small, light, but somehow heavier with significance. The ranch, the plains, the world, all of it faded in that moment. Where did you come from? he asked, his voice trembling. The twins exchanged glances. One of them, the slightly older, spoke first. We were waiting for you. Cole's mind reeled. Waiting for me? But how? Who are you? The girls looked at him with a seriousness beyond their years. We are from Lena, the second girl said softly. She sent us to you. The words were simple, but they carried a weight Cole could barely comprehend. Lena. His Lena. Alive? Or was this some trick of fate? Some impossible miracle? He wanted to ask questions, but the girls shook their heads, holding his hands and pulling him toward the ranch. You will understand soon, the older girl said. But first, you must take care of us. Cole stood there, holding the twins, staring at the endless plains. He had survived storms, alien wildlife, and the loneliness of Aurora 9, but nothing had prepared him for this. And yet, a strange warmth filled his chest. Humanity, he thought, had a way of surprising itself. Even in the darkest moments, life found a way to shine. He led the girls back to the ranch, his mind racing with questions. The barn, the house, even the fences, seemed to have taken on new meaning. The land that had once felt lonely now felt full, alive with the possibility of the impossible. That night, Cole sat by the fire, the twins between his knees. They were quiet, watching the flames flicker, their small hands clutching his. He told them stories about Lena, about the ranch, about life on Aurora 9, and as he spoke, he realized something extraordinary. Hope, like fire, could grow from even the smallest spark. The twins listened carefully, absorbing every word. Occasionally, one of them would nod or smile, as if understanding more than a normal child should. Cole noticed this, a flicker of awe stirring inside him. Humanity's strength, he thought, was not just in survival or in cleverness. It was in the ability to adapt, to teach, to love. Hours passed, and the stars shone bright over Aurora 9. Cole glanced outside, seeing the dark plains stretch endlessly under the alien night sky. The girls were asleep now, curled against him like they had always belonged. And for the first time in months, Cole allowed himself to imagine a future one that included laughter, discovery, and the impossible return of his wife's legacy through these mysterious twins. Outside, the wind whispered across the plains. The night held secrets, dangers, and promises yet to be revealed. But inside the small ranch house, the warmth of family, human ingenuity, and resilience shone brighter than any alien sun. Cole Marston, the grieving rancher, understood one thing clearly. Life had a way of surprising even the most broken hearts. And tomorrow, the adventure would begin. The morning sun spread its light slowly across the plains of Aurora 9, casting long shadows over the ranch. Cole Marston woke before dawn, as he always did. But this time, it was different. The twins, Mira and Isla, were awake already, sitting at the edge of the porch, watching the horizon as if they belonged to the land itself. Cole brewed coffee and handed each of them a mug. The girls took it carefully, their small hands wrapping around the warm cups. "Thank you, Daddy," Mira said quietly. Cole froze for a moment. The words were simple, but in them, there was certainty. They had not been taught to call him that, they simply knew. He smiled, a mix of disbelief and hope washing over him. "You're welcome," he said softly. Breakfast was quiet, the air filled with the smell of freshly cooked eggs and toasted bread. The girls ate quickly, but every bite seemed thoughtful, deliberate. Cole noticed how carefully they handled everything, from the utensils to the plates. Something about them was unusual, not only in appearance but in behavior. After breakfast, Cole led the twins outside to begin the morning chores. The ranch had survived years of his care, but it needed constant attention. The twins followed quietly, their eyes scanning every corner of the land as if they had been born to understand it. Cole watched, impressed by their awareness. "Can you lift that?" he asked, handing Isla a bale of hay. She nodded without hesitation and lifted it easily, holding it like it weighed nothing. Cole blinked. She had the strength of a much older child, or perhaps something more. Mira moved with precision, fixing a broken fence post with tools she had never used before but handled with confidence. Cole shook his head. "Where did you learn to do all this?" he asked. "We know things," Mira said simply. "Things Mama wanted us to know." Cole's heart clenched. Lena. The twins had been taught, somehow, by the woman he had loved. But how? He pushed the thought aside for now. Survival came first, and these girls, however mysterious, were now under his protection. As the morning wore on, Cole began asking questions about their past. "Where were you before you came here?" he asked. "We don't remember like humans remember," Isla said. "We remember instructions. And Mama's voice. She told us to find you." Quote. Cole's chest tightened. It made no sense. How could children travel across the harsh plains alone? How could they survive the dangers of Aurora 9, from the shifting sandstorms to the strange, aggressive wildlife? And yet, here they were, healthy, strong, and remarkably calm. He led them to the barn, showing them the cattle and explaining their daily care. Mira and Isla listened carefully, asking questions that revealed deep intelligence and curiosity. When Cole showed them how to mend fences, Mira immediately suggested a more efficient design, something Cole would have taken weeks to figure out. "You're smart," Cole said, impressed. "Just like your mother." The twins smiled faintly but said nothing. Their silence was thoughtful, as if weighing every word before speaking. Cole found it strange and familiar at the same time. Lena had always been that way, careful, deliberate, full of quiet strength. By mid-afternoon, Cole decided it was time to address the outside world. Aurora 9 was not a place where people went unnoticed, and the sudden appearance of children would not remain a secret for long. He mounted his old hoverbike and rode into the nearby settlement, twins safely secured in the cabin behind him. The settlers stared when Cole arrived. A grizzled rancher with two small, unfamiliar children was a sight that sparked curiosity and suspicion in equal measure. "Cole," called Sheriff Ran, an older man with a weathered face. "What in the stars is going on? Who are these kids?" Cole took a deep breath. "They're mine. At least, they call me Daddy. I don't know where they came from, but I'm taking care of them." The sheriff squinted. "You found them on the plains?" "Yes," Cole said, trying to keep his voice steady. "They were waiting for me." The sheriff exchanged a glance with the townsfolk. Murmurs ran through the small crowd, speculation mixing with awe. Aurora 9 was a harsh world, and strange things happened here. But even the settlers knew enough to question miracles. "Look," Cole said firmly, "I'm not asking for permission. I'm just telling you. They need protection, and I intend to give it to them." The twins stayed quiet, observing the adults with calm, steady eyes. Their presence seemed to silence the chatter. Even the sheriff hesitated. There was something in their gaze, something older, wiser than their years, that made it impossible to dismiss them as ordinary children. When Cole returned to the ranch that evening, he found the twins staring at the horizon again. "Do you know where Mama is?" Cole asked gently. "We do not know exactly," Mira said. "But she is waiting, somewhere. She sent us to you first." The idea of Lena being alive, somewhere out there, filled Cole with hope and dread at the same time. He wanted to believe, but every rational thought told him she was gone. Still, the twins' arrival suggested a path he had never imagined. Over the next few days, Cole began teaching the twins everything they needed to survive on the ranch. They learned how to herd cattle, mend fences, and even handle the small hover vehicles that Cole used to move supplies. Their learning was astonishingly fast. Mira could ride the hoverbike after only a few attempts, and Isla showed a natural talent for predicting weather patterns, an ability that had kept the ranch safe from several sudden Aurora 9 storms. Cole realized that the twins were not ordinary children. They were clever, resourceful, and fearless, traits that reminded him of humanity's greatest strengths. In a strange way, they represented everything he admired in Lena: intelligence, courage, and the determination to survive against impossible odds. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Cole decided to explore the twins' origins further. He gathered supplies and left the ranch, taking the twins with him. They approached the ruins of the old mining facility where Lena had worked before the accident. The building was mostly abandoned, rusted and crumbling. But Cole noticed signs of recent activity: footprints, faint lights, and strange markings on the walls. "Do you know what happened here?" Cole asked, glancing at the twins. Mira nodded. "Mama wanted to protect something. She left clues. For you." Cole felt a chill run down his spine. Lena had always been careful, leaving notes, maps, and messages for him in case something went wrong. The twins were not only her legacy, they were the key to understanding her final mission. Inside the ruins, Cole discovered a small room filled with devices he did not understand. Holographic displays flickered to life as he approached, revealing images and recordings of Lena. She spoke directly to him, her face calm, her voice filled with purpose. "Cole," Lena said in the recording, "if you are seeing this, then something went wrong. I could not return, but I have sent them to you. Mira and Isla carry knowledge, strength, and hope. Protect them, teach them, and trust in their abilities. They are part of the future we dreamed of." Cole's hands shook as he reached out to touch the hologram. The voice, the sight, it all felt impossibly real. He looked down at the twins. They had watched silently, absorbing every detail, yet showing no fear. "They are amazing," Cole whispered. "Just like you, Lena." The twins nodded, their small faces serious. "We are ready," Isla said. As they left the ruins, Cole realized that their lives had changed forever. The twins were not only children, they were reminders of what humanity could achieve. The result of a woman's brilliance, and proof that survival, intelligence, and love could create miracles even on a harsh planet. Back at the ranch, Cole prepared for the days ahead. The twins needed guidance. Yes, but he also knew they would teach him. Their presence was a challenge, a mystery, and a gift. And somewhere deep inside, he felt a spark of hope. Humanity had sent many wonders into the stars, but nothing compared to the determination of one man and two extraordinary children to face the unknown together. As the night settled over Aurora 9, Cole looked at the stars and whispered, "We will find her, Lena. We will find you." The twins, curled at his side, seemed to understand. And for the first time in months, the ranch felt alive again, full of possibilities and the promise of adventure. Tomorrow, Cole thought, would bring more questions, more challenges, but also more hope. And for now, that was enough. The dawn on Aurora 9 broke in soft shades of orange and violet, painting the plains with a quiet promise. Cole Marston woke early, as he always did, but today he felt a strange energy in the air. Mira and Isla were already awake, sitting on the porch and staring at the horizon. Their eyes, so calm, yet so alert, seemed to see more than the human eye could capture. Cole poured coffee into 3 mugs and handed one to each of the twins. They accepted them carefully, as if understanding the importance of small, human rituals. "Good morning, Daddy," Mira said, her voice soft but steady. Cole smiled. "Morning, girls. Today we're going to do something important, something that might help us understand who you really are and who Lena really is." The twins exchanged a look but nodded. They trusted him. That trust gave Cole a sense of responsibility deeper than any he had ever known. Lena had trusted him once, and now he had to live up to that trust for both her and the children she had left behind. After breakfast, Cole prepared a small hoverbike for the trip. He had decided it was time to investigate Lena's lab fully, the one she had used before the accident. The ruins he had discovered in Part 2 were only the beginning. Lena had been brilliant, working on projects no one else could understand, and he suspected that the twins' arrival was connected to something far bigger than he could imagine. "Stay close," Cole said, strapping the twins securely into the hoverbike's cabin. "We don't know what's waiting for us out there." "We, none, too," The plains of Aurora 9 stretched endlessly, the wind brushing against them with both chill and warmth. Cole maneuvered the bike over rough terrain, navigating jagged rocks and low ridges. The twins, unusually quiet, observed every movement. Mira pointed at subtle signs along the path, a faint trail in the dust, unusual markings on rocks, and Isla noticed changes in the wind patterns that indicated an approaching storm. Cole marveled silently. "How do you know these things?" he asked. Mira shrugged. "We just notice. Mama taught us to watch carefully." The lab, when they finally reached it, was partly hidden in a cliffside. Metal walls were fused with the natural rock, and strange symbols glowed faintly on its surface. Cole ran his hand over the markings, feeling the hum of energy beneath them. The twins' eyes widened slightly. "It's still active," Isla whispered. Cole's heart skipped a beat. This lab had been abandoned for years or so, everyone thought. If it was still active, it meant Lena's work might not be lost. He took a deep breath and opened the reinforced door. Inside, the lab was dark but functional. Screens flickered with unreadable data, and devices hummed softly. Cole's hands hovered over a console, unsure where to start. Mira stepped forward. "Daddy, we can help." Cole nodded, hesitant. "If you can." The twins moved with surprising coordination, their small fingers manipulating controls that even Cole did not understand. Lights flickered to life. Holographic images floating above the consoles, schematics, experiments, and personal messages appeared in 3D projection. One image showed Lena, smiling at the camera, her eyes full of determination. "Cole," Lena said in the recording, "if you are seeing this, then I have already left. My work has reached a point beyond human comprehension. But you must protect the girls. They carry what I could not finish. You will need to understand, but do not be afraid. Humanity can handle what is to come." Cole swallowed hard. Lena's words were calm, but they carried a weight that made him tremble. She had trusted him with this. Trusted him to protect not only the twins but also the knowledge she had created. As he studied the projections, the twins demonstrated abilities beyond ordinary children. Mira manipulated small devices with precision, instantly decoding patterns in the holograms, while Isla seemed to sense shifts in the lab's power flow, avoiding dangerous currents and guiding Cole to the safest paths. Cole felt a surge of pride and awe. Humanity, he realized, was capable of more than he had ever imagined. Even on a frontier world like Aurora 9, humans could survive, adapt, and thrive if they used their intelligence and courage. The twins embodied that potential. A living proof of what humans could achieve when combined with determination and love. Hours passed as Cole explored Lena's work. He discovered experiments that blurred the line between biology and technology. Small devices, designed to enhance human senses and strength, were integrated into the twins' physiology. It explained their extraordinary abilities, their intelligence, and their awareness of things most humans would never notice. Cole felt a mix of fear and admiration. "She really did it," he whispered. "She really created something amazing." Mira and Isla glanced at him. "We are part of her plan," Mira said softly. "She wanted us to be ready." Cole realized the truth. These children were not ordinary. They were the future. But they were still human. Their emotions, their loyalty, and their curiosity, these were all human traits. And in them, Cole saw the best of what humanity could be. Clever, resilient, and full of heart. Suddenly, a sound echoed through the lab, a low hum growing into a steady vibration. Lights flickered, and one of the devices on the wall activated, projecting a map of Aurora 9 with glowing points that seemed to track movement. Cole frowned. "What is that?" Isla's eyes widened. "Someone is here, outside." Before Cole could react, the door to the lab shook. Heavy footsteps echoed in the metal corridors. He instinctively placed himself in front of the twins, pulling a small tool from his belt. His heart pounded. He had faced storms, wild animals, and isolation, but now he faced something entirely different: human intruders. The door burst open, A team of corporate agents, armed and serious, entered the lab. Their uniforms marked them as part of the energy company Lena had worked for. "Marston," their leader said, his voice firm. "Step aside. Those children belong to the company. Surrender them now." Cole's hands tightened around the tool. "They're not yours," he said, his voice calm but deadly serious. "They're human, and I won't let you take them." The twins moved behind him, calm and ready. Mira's fingers brushed a control panel, and small energy pulses flickered from her hands, temporarily disabling the agent's electronic weapons. Isla subtly manipulated the lab's lighting, creating shadows and distractions that made the intruders hesitant. Cole realized then that Lena had not only prepared the twins but had also given him a chance. They were a team, human ingenuity, combined with extraordinary abilities. And together, they were unstoppable. Hours passed in tense standoffs, with Cole using his knowledge of the lab, the terrain, and human strategy to stay ahead. The twins assisted silently, their small actions amplifying his efforts. The intruders underestimated them, assuming children would be a liability. But they were wrong. Humanity, Cole realized, was never weak when it had courage, intelligence, and unity. Finally, the agents retreated, frustrated and defeated. Cole collapsed onto a bench, breathing heavily. The twins gathered around him, calm and unafraid. "You did it, Daddy," Mira said. Cole looked at them, his chest swelling with pride and wonder. "No," he said softly. "We did it together." As the sun set over the plains of Aurora 9, Cole knew their journey was only beginning. Lena's legacy was vast, filled with secrets, dangers, and knowledge far beyond normal human understanding. But he also knew something else. Humans were adaptable, clever, and resilient. They could face anything, even threats designed to overwhelm them if they relied on their courage, creativity, and love. And as he watched the twins' small faces glowing in the dim light of the lab, he realized that humanity's greatest strength was never in machines or weapons, but in the heart, the mind, and the bonds that connected them. Tomorrow, they would explore Lena's work further, uncover more secrets, and face new challenges. But for tonight, Cole allowed himself a rare moment of peace. The twins were safe, alive, and extraordinary. And he knew, deep down, that humanity through him and these remarkable children would rise to meet whatever challenges the stars held. The night stretched over the plains, vast and unending. But within the lab, the warmth of human ingenuity and resilience shone brighter than any alien star. Cole Marston, the grieving rancher, understood one truth clearly. Even in the most impossible situations, humans could endure, adapt, and triumph. And the future, though uncertain, was theirs to shape. The plains of Aurora 9 were quiet that morning, almost too quiet. The ranch lay beneath a sky painted in soft gold, but the calm was deceptive. Cole Marston had learned from experience that peace on this frontier planet never lasted long. And today, it would be broken. He awoke early, as always, and immediately noticed Mira and Isla already awake. They stood at the edge of the porch, watching the horizon with an intensity that made Cole shiver. They had grown more confident in the days since the lab incident, but something in their gaze hinted that they sensed danger approaching. Cole brewed coffee and handed a mug to each of the twins. "Something is coming," he said quietly, more to himself than to them. Mira's eyes narrowed. "They will try again," she said. "We must be ready." Cole nodded. The corporate agents had been persistent, and he knew their return was inevitable. He had spent the past days reinforcing the ranch, setting traps, and preparing defenses, but this time, the threat would not be just curiosity or intimidation. They were coming to take the twins. By force if necessary. By mid-morning, the faint hum of engines carried across the plains. Cole raised his hand. "Stay inside," he instructed. Mira and Isla nodded, moving to the barn where Cole had created a safe observation post. Cole grabbed a toolkit, a few weapons, and his rugged survival gear, heading toward the ridges overlooking the ranch. From this vantage point, he could see the agents approaching. Sleek hover vehicles glinting in the sunlight. Armed men ready for anything. But Cole had something they did not. Knowledge of the land, quick thinking, and determination. He activated the first line of defense. Using simple materials and ingenuity, he had created camouflaged pits and tripwires that would disable hover vehicles. He adjusted a few more panels, preparing for the attack. "Let's see how clever they really are," he muttered. The agents reached the edge of the ranch. They stopped, scanning the terrain, and then one of them spoke into a communicator. "Target confirmed. Children are inside. Proceed with caution." Cole felt a surge of pride and resolve. They were human, but so was he, and he would prove it. The first hover vehicle triggered a hidden pit, tipping violently and throwing the agents into disarray. Cole's trap slowed them, but they adapted quickly, deploying drones to scout ahead. Mira and Isla, from their vantage point, analyzed the drone's patterns. Mira whispered instructions, and Cole adjusted his next trap accordingly. The drones faltered, confused by the unexpected human ingenuity. Cole realized something vital. The twins were not just children. They were partners, extensions of his own abilities. Human adaptability, he thought, was the most powerful tool of all. As the battle escalated, the agents attempted to enter the barn where the twins were hiding. Cole had prepared for this, creating a series of narrow corridors and decoys. When the agents stepped inside, they found themselves disoriented, confronted by shadows and misdirection. Mira activated a small device she had discovered in Lena's lab, creating temporary barriers that confused the intruders. Isla manipulated the barn's old wiring, short-circuiting lights and electronic locks to delay them further. Cole moved through the chaos, leading the twins carefully. "Follow me," he instructed. "Stay calm and trust me." The agents regrouped outside, using communication devices to coordinate a new attack. But Cole had anticipated this. He guided the twins through a series of hidden passages and natural tunnels in the cliffs surrounding the ranch. Every step was calculated, every decision, a blend of instinct and experience. When the agents tried to follow, they found themselves slowed by collapsed rocks and unexpected barriers. Cole smiled grimly. "Human cleverness beats machines every time," he muttered. Hours passed in tense skirmishes across the ranch. Cole and the twins moved with precision, avoiding direct conflict while wearing down the intruders. Mira used her knowledge of mechanics to disable hover vehicles one by one. Isla anticipated attacks, warning Cole just in time to dodge. The agents were relentless, but they had underestimated the humans' ability to adapt and improvise. At one point, an agent cornered Cole near the cliffs. The man raised his weapon, confident in his training and firepower. Cole held up a small device, a simple but effective tool he had modified from Lena's lab. A pulse emitted, temporarily disabling the agent's weapon systems. Cole seized the moment, disarming him with a combination of speed and instinct. The twins appeared beside him, calm and ready. Mira's fingers brushed another panel, sending a pulse that disrupted the remaining drones. Isla adjusted the lighting, creating shadows that made the agents hesitate. Together, they were a perfect blend of human ingenuity and extraordinary ability. By late afternoon, the agents were in full retreat. Hover vehicles malfunctioned, communications jammed, and morale plummeted. Cole watched them flee across the plains, knowing they would not give up easily, but confident that for now, the twins were safe. He returned to the ranch with Mira and Isla, their faces calm despite the battle. "You were amazing," he said quietly, holding their hands. "We are trained," Mira said simply. "Mama wanted us ready." Cole felt a mix of awe and pride. These children were extraordinary, but they were also human. They had inherited Lena's brilliance, but they also had the courage, determination, and heart that defined humanity. And in that moment, Cole realized something profound. Humanity's greatest strength was never in machines or weapons. It was in the mind, the spirit, and the bonds that connected them. That evening, Cole sat by the fire, the twins curled at his side. The ranch was quiet again, but the events of the day weighed heavily on him. He knew the corporate agents would return, stronger and more determined, but he also knew that they underestimated what humans could do when driven by love, courage, and ingenuity. He looked at Mira and Isla. "You are more than my children," he said softly. "You are the future. And together, we can face anything." Mira smiled faintly. "We will protect the ranch, Daddy, and we will find Mama." Cole nodded. The thought of Lena kept him going. He had faced storms, wild animals, and corporate threats. But he had never felt stronger than when he was with the twins. Humanity, he realized, could survive and even thrive in the harshest conditions. Adaptability, intelligence, and courage were their greatest weapons. As night fell over the plains, the ranch glowed with the warmth of firelight and human resilience. Cole felt a rare sense of peace, knowing that for now, the twins were safe and their family was whole. But beyond the horizon, dangers still lurked, waiting for the right moment to strike, and Cole, Mira, and Isla would be ready. The stars over Aurora 9 were bright, scattered like diamonds across the dark sky. Cole stared at them, thinking of Lena, the twins' origins, and the challenges that lay ahead. He understood that the journey was far from over, but he also understood something else. Humanity's spirit could never be crushed. With the twins at his side, he felt invincible. The battle had tested them, but it had also strengthened them. Together, they represented the best of what humans could be: clever, resilient, and unbreakable. And as Cole drifted off to sleep that night, he knew one thing for certain: no force in the galaxy could take them down if they relied on their courage, their intelligence, and each other. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, and perhaps even greater dangers. But the Marston family humanity in miniature was ready. And in the vast, wild plains of Aurora 9, their story was only beginning. The stars of Aurora 9 shone brightly, stretching across the sky like silver rivers. The plains were quiet, but the ranch buzzed with preparation. Cole Marston moved carefully, checking supplies, tools, and small devices the twins had learned to operate. Today, their lives would change forever. Mira and Isla watched him closely, their eyes full of anticipation. They had grown stronger, smarter, and braver with each passing day. The events on the plains, the confrontation with the agents, and their time in Lena's lab had shaped them. But what lay ahead, space, the unknown, and perhaps the final answers about their mother, was unlike anything they had faced before. Cole poured 3 mugs of coffee, handing one to each of them. "This is it," he said quietly. "We're leaving Aurora 9. At least for a little while. We need to find Lena, or at least understand what she left for us." Mira's eyes sparkled. "Are you ready, Daddy?" Cole smiled. "I think I've been ready all my life." They climbed aboard the small spacecraft Cole had been modifying over the past weeks. It was rugged and simple, designed to handle the harshest conditions of Aurora 9, but also equipped with navigational and defensive technology. Mira and Isla had already learned the controls, and Cole trusted them to assist. Humanity, he reflected, was remarkable. Even in the smallest hands, courage and intelligence could thrive. The engines roared to life, shaking the ground beneath them. Cole guided the craft into the open sky, and soon they were soaring above the plains. Aurora 9 fell away beneath them, a patchwork of golden fields, jagged rocks, and the occasional shimmer of alien flora. For the first time, the ranch, their home, looked small, but in Cole's heart, it remained the center of everything. The twins assisted with navigation, analyzing star patterns, and adjusting trajectories. Their abilities, enhanced by Lena's work, were impressive. Mira could calculate routes almost instantly, predicting gravitational shifts and energy flows. Isla sensed fluctuations in the ship's systems before they happened, allowing Cole to avoid potential dangers. Together, they were a team that surpassed any ordinary human crew. Hours passed in silence, punctuated by quiet conversation. Cole shared stories of the frontier, of survival, and of Lena. Mira and Isla listened intently, absorbing every word, learning not just skills but human values: courage, loyalty, and compassion. "We can feel her," Mira said suddenly, her eyes fixed on the view screen. "Mama's energy? It's strong." Somewhere ahead, Cole's pulse quickened. The idea that Lena might still exist somewhere, alive in some form, filled him with hope and determination. "Then we follow it," he said firmly. "No matter what it takes." The journey took them through asteroid fields, across uncharted systems, and past planets that shimmered with strange colors. Cole relied on both his frontier instincts and the twins' extraordinary abilities. Every challenge: malfunctioning engines, navigational hazards, and even small alien predators was met with quick thinking and teamwork. Humanity's ingenuity shone brightly, even in the cold darkness of space. Finally, the twins detected a signal, a faint but unmistakable pattern that resembled Lena's unique energy signature. Mira guided the ship toward it, while Isla monitored the surrounding space for threats. The signal led them to a small, hidden station orbiting a distant planet. Its architecture was sleek and alien, yet familiar in some ways. Cole's heart raced. "This has to be it," he whispered. "This is where she is." The station was heavily shielded, but the twins' abilities allowed them to bypass security systems and energy barriers. Cole felt a surge of pride. Humans, when combined with determination and intelligence, could overcome obstacles even the most advanced alien technology presented. Inside, they found Lena, or rather, a version of her. She appeared in a holographic chamber, her voice and image perfectly preserved. "Cole," she said, smiling warmly, "I knew you would find this. And you found them too. My greatest achievement." Cole approached the chamber, his voice thick with emotion. "Lena, you're alive? Somehow?" Lena nodded, her holographic form flickering slightly. "I exist here, beyond physical form, but I have been guiding you this whole time. Mira and Isla carry my knowledge and my abilities. Through them, my work lives on." The twins stepped forward, their hands glowing faintly as they activated a control panel. Energy flows traced the outlines of the station, revealing complex diagrams and data streams. Cole realized that Lena's research went beyond human technology. She had combined biology, energy manipulation, and intelligence in a way he could barely understand. Yet, through the twins, that knowledge could be harnessed. "Together," Lena said, her holographic eyes meeting Cole's, "you can continue my work, protect humanity, explore the stars, and never forget what makes humans strong: courage, intelligence, and love." Cole swallowed hard. Humanity, he realized, had reached far beyond the limits of mere survival. They could adapt, innovate, and overcome even challenges that seemed impossible. And in Mira and Isla, he saw the embodiment of that potential: human ingenuity, amplified by extraordinary abilities, yet still guided by emotion, loyalty, and compassion. Suddenly, alarms rang through the station. A fleet of corporate ships, the same group that had pursued them on Aurora 9, had tracked them here. They were heavily armed, ready to seize the twins and Lena's technology. Cole clenched his fists. He had faced them before. But this time, the stakes were higher, the battlefield larger. Mira and Isla moved quickly, activating defensive systems. Energy shields hummed to life, and automated drones patrolled the corridors. Cole grabbed his tools and prepared for direct confrontation, ready to fight if necessary. Humanity, he thought, could never be underestimated. Courage, ingenuity, and determination were as lethal as any weapon. The corporate ships attacked, but Cole and the twins were ready. Using a combination of strategic thinking, quick reflexes, and Lena's advanced technology, they outmaneuvered the enemy, Mira calculated precise trajectories for the station's defense systems, while Isla monitored energy fluctuations, ensuring every barrier and shield functioned perfectly. Cole, using his frontier-honed instincts, guided their movements, improvising when necessary. Hours passed in a tense battle. The corporate fleet was relentless, but they underestimated the combination of human ingenuity and the twins' extraordinary abilities. One by one, their ships were disabled. Forced to retreat, Cole watched the last of them flee into the darkness of space, his chest swelling with pride. Humanity, he realized, had triumphed not through raw power alone, but through cleverness, courage, and unity. When the battle ended, Cole turned to the twins. "You were incredible," he said, voice thick with emotion. Mira smiled. "We learned from you, Daddy, and Mama too." Isla nodded. "We will keep learning, and we will keep protecting." Cole realized then that humanity's spirit, curiosity, courage, and compassion was unstoppable. Even in the vast, unknown galaxy, humans could survive, adapt, and thrive. And with Mira and Isla, the future was brighter than ever. Lena's hologram flickered one last time. "The stars await you," she said. "Go. Explore. Protect. And never forget who you are." Cole held the twins' hands, looking out at the stars, stretching endlessly before them. "We will. Mama," he whispered. "We will." As they prepared to leave the station, Cole knew that this journey was just the beginning. There would be challenges, dangers, and mysteries beyond comprehension. But they were ready. Mira and Isla were extraordinary. Yes, but they were also human, and that was their greatest strength. The spacecraft lifted off, leaving the station behind. Aurora 9 faded into the distance, and the endless galaxy stretched out before them. Cole, Mira, and Isla were no longer just survivors. They were explorers, protectors, and bearers of a legacy that combined the best of humanity and the brilliance of Lena's vision. And as the stars gleamed around them, Cole understood one final truth. No matter how vast the universe, no matter how advanced the technology or fierce the enemies, humanity's spirit could never be broken. Love, courage, ingenuity, and determination, the qualities that defined them, would guide them through every challenge. The Marston family, together once more, soared into the unknown, ready for whatever adventures the stars would bring. And somewhere in the infinite sky, Lena's presence watched over them, proud of the future she had entrusted to the humans she loved most.